Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You join me back again with the Volkswagen ID.4. This is the entry-level model, the small battery. It's the 62 kilowatt hour SK battery, about 57 kilowatt hours usable. In this video, we're going to find out just how far this thing goes on a single charge. I'll walk you through the testing procedures. We're going to jump on the highway, set the cruise control to 70 miles an hour GPS, run a loop style test to counteract wind and elevation as we always do, and then I'll give you the number of sort of the low range ID.4 that's available in the US. At some point in the near future as well, I promise I will test a large battery ID.4. Somehow I've never range tested an ID.4. We've done so much with this car. I've driven it across the country with you guys on our Out of Spec Motoring sister channel. And well, this is the first range test. So sorry to let you down in that department, but the ID.4 testing isn't over. Let's get into it. This is an ID.4 built in Chattanooga, and the Chattanooga ID.4s have this pretty nifty light up Volkswagen badge in red. It looks almost a little bit scary. I don't know. Anyway, ID.4 is Volkswagen's electric SUV. We've done a ton with it. There's a bunch of different trims and models now. I kind of like the early days when it was just simple. You had first edition, Pro and Pro S. Now you got all these crazy things that are going, different batteries. There's actually 3 batteries you can get in this car, and I'll walk you through those right now so you know what we're testing. SK, I'm talking just US spec, built in Chattanooga. That's all the ID.4s that we have in the US now are built here in America, localized production. You have SK on producing the 62 and 82 kilowatt hour battery packs. So the large batteries, 20 kilowatt hours more. Those are gross capacities. It's 57 usable and 77 usable. And then there's also the older, like remember the German spec ID.4s that would charge at 125, 130 kilowatts? Those were the LG batteries. Those are also built now in Chattanooga, localized, so they qualify for the full tax credit. And they're like sliding those into a few cars just to keep up with production. The big question mark is if you order an ID.4, if you go to a dealer, you don't want the LG battery because it charges slower, is my understanding. There might be an update that could be coming soon. We'll have to do some testing and ask around. Maybe if you guys know, let me know. That brings that 135 kilowatt maximum charging rate to the 190, 195 of the SK battery. But the SK battery is the new battery. That's the one you want. So, yeah, not sure what's going on there. I guess it's luck of the draw. But as far as I understand it, the small battery entry level, all SKs in this one. I've already done a charging test, a 10% challenge. Charging test will probably go up after this video. I'm not sure yet, but just stay tuned to the channel. We did all the stuff. So every ID.4 seemingly is in the same exact configuration, gray on black with the 20-inch wheels. This is a Pro S model, which means it's got the massaging seats, glass roof, EPA range of 209 miles, if I remember correctly. This is really the city version. It's the one that you're going to take on the occasional road trip, and you have no need for all-wheel drive or anything like that. So really looking forward to getting this in as a range test as the benchmark. And then we'll also do the long range all-wheel drive, Michaela's car. But I think it's going to be hard to find a long range rear wheel drive here in Colorado. So we may actually have to do that when we're out in North Carolina visiting some family. So we'll see. Back to this car. 209 miles, EPA range, $45,000 as tested. They start at $38,039. For an entry-level one. That's the one I think you should probably go for if you're going for the small battery. Just go entry-level ID.4. Comes with so much standard equipment. We've done a lot, and ID.4s are kind of losing a little bit of the pizzazz. I think next year we're going to see some more updates with the car, some more interesting things coming. New infotainment, upgraded rear motor, very similar to that ID.7 that we reviewed. I think we're going to see all those updates trickle into this car for 2024. Time will tell. That's not an official announcement. I don't have any inside info. It's just my guess. And, I don't know. Let's just test this car and see how far it goes on a charge, and then we'll run the big battery ones later. What else should I tell you about this? Alyssa, anything else I'm missing here?
Nope.
Testing procedures.
Testing procedures.
Testing procedures. just like every range test, DC fast charge it to 100% until it clicks off. This car charges great up top. There's a reason every ID.4 owner is always 100% charging at chargers, and that's because it just rips all the way to full. Unlike the BZ4X, which took over 2.5 hours to go from 90 to 100%, this thing is well under an hour, 0 to 100%. Really great charging curve on this car. We noticed the same thing when we charged the Volkswagen ID Buzz in Europe with the SK battery. Good stuff. So I've already been driving this car all day, literally all day. It's been DC fast charged 3 times. Battery's at the perfect temperature. It's warmed up. It's ready to go. It's at about 85, 87% state of charge right now because I just did a 0 to 100% charging session down the road. We'll plug it in, top it up to full, head out on the range test at 70 miles an hour, and you'll join me for all of that. Alyssa, you're going to take the Rivian back. One person in the car for this test.
Correct.
So let's go plug it in to Electrify America station and pull a typical ID.4 owner charging it to full. Well, there goes Alyssa. Just did a little dinner situation. Please plug in the car. We certainly can do that. Now, software 3.2, I'm told, will add plug and charge and a few other things. Crazy that this car still doesn't have it. It has okay route planning, nothing major, but this car's on software 3.1. Let's just make sure it's set to 100% charging. It is. We're at 87%. Again, battery's nice and warm. I can show you that because I'm monitoring OBD stuff here. You can see we're at about 30 degrees Celsius. That's exactly where the car wants to be on the battery pack. So very, very good. For those who are wondering, this is the Car Scanner ELM OBD app with the V-Peak scanner over there. So battery's perfect, ready to eke out all the range. Weather's perfect, no wind, about 70 degrees. Doesn't get much better than this. This thing top charges so fast. So let's get it juicing very quickly, and we better prepare to get this to go. Nighttime range test starting here in Loveland because the Wellington station we typically use a few exits up the highway is actually closed. They're upgrading the stations. So I have to come down here, run at nighttime when there's less traffic because there's always traffic down here. And here we are, look at that, 50 kilowatts at 90% or so. Just awesome charging performance up top, especially when the last car I tested was the BZ4X. You join me now at 99% state of charge. Software 3.1 gives us the kilowatt rate right here in the infotainment system. So there we go, 17, 23, all kind of over the place as it figures out what it needs to do to get top charged. We are running about 70 degrees auto low here. We will put the vehicle in eco mode when we leave. I'll also reset all of our trips as we head out. And I do that by going here. And I just zero out each one of these things. So we'll do that. Regular headlights, great headlights on this particular car. All good. You know, I'm just an ID.4 fan. The car works. A lot of people, I think, you know, it bugs them. There's a lot of little things that they don't like about the ID.4. I mentioned it when we did the 10% challenge video, which went up earlier. But, you know, the more time I spend with these, it's just like, it's a car that doesn't really annoy me. The software really doesn't annoy me. And I think the upgrades for 24, if they put the better sound system in it, the juicier motor and those things can really bring this into like, okay, yeah, like it's a real Model Y competitor. May not win on paper, but you don't drive cars on paper, you drive cars on the street, and it's a lot of intangibles. So we're very close to completing here. Very good top charging performance on this car. So we'll give it just another couple minutes. Once it completes at 100%, we'll load up, head out, and run the test. We are now complete at 100% state of charge, 210 miles, predicted again 209 EPA. Tire pressures are set to manufacturer rated. We are on the 20-inch wheels. You can get, I believe, 19-inch wheels in the standard car if you go for the non-S version here. But very good top charging performance, pulling an ID.4 at the charging station. Every ID.4 owner, if you're watching this video, please stop leaving your cars at charging stations full, collecting non-idle fees. Electrify America, please start charging idle fees because there's no incentive to move your car. You could honestly like park this thing at an airport charger, leave it there for 3 weeks, and you'll be billed $0. So I really hope they start billing things. But I have to say, very good session. EA all up and running here. Lots of throughput. This station's been rocking the last few weeks. Nothing but no complaints. All good here. And we are ready to do a range test in this. Next time we're at this station, we'll be at 0% state of charge. So let's head out and go. What we need to do here inside the car now is kick it on. All you do is just get in, the car's on, no silly start button or any antiquated thing like that. I am not going to be using the massaging seats as per testing procedures, sadly. But what we are going to do is put the car into eco mode. We are going to go to Clima, turn it on, 70% eco, low fan, all good. We're going to reset our trip computer right here. Since start, yes. Long term, reset. And of course, it automatically does it since the last charge as well, which as soon as we pull away, that will be reset. Really good. And we're good to go. Wow, look at this. 245 miles predicted in eco mode. We'll put it in B to get a little bit of off throttle regen. But holy smokes, that's crazy. Let's rock and roll now. Did our since charge reset? No? What? But I can change that to, hold on. I got to pull up that menu and we can go since start. So now we have all of our good data. Let's do it. Heading out now and jumping onto the highway. Great turning radius in ID.4 rear wheel drive. Nice glass roof in this upscale model. Again, I think if you're going to go rear wheel drive, small battery, save the options cost and go for it on the entry level side. This thing's 45 grand. I think you can get a big battery base car for about 45 grand. That would be a better use of your money. Not that you necessarily need the range all the time, or really ever for some people. But I think for resale value and other things as well, sometimes it's nice just to have faster charging, more range, especially when it's only a few $1,000s more. So let's see how far this goes. We'll jump on the highway here in a moment. We got the live stream rocking on the motoring channel as usual. Couldn't ask for anything better than this. Here we are exiting now to jump onto the freeway. We just pulled out of the parking lot. We'll try and maintain pretty good pace around the on-ramp, and we'll get up to 70 miles an hour as soon as we can and just maintain that. I'll update you throughout the drive as we get up into Wyoming, of course, and perhaps even Nebraska, depending on how the efficiency is looking, and weather, of course. Need to kind of drive around, a little bit of wind as we get closer to the east, so I might end up looping closer here in Colorado. Once we get up to 70 miles an hour, the speedo is dead on accurate. I will lock on Volkswagen Travel Assist and we will be good to go. So there we go, on at 70. You join me about 25% of the way through this drive. We're just about to cross into Wyoming. Again, we're starting a little bit farther back than where we typically do. And we've gone 42 miles so far at 75%, but keep in mind, quite a bit of elevation gain on the first bit of this drive. That's why we run a loop so we can head back. Welcome to Wyoming. And we are now in the great state of Wyoming. Time to keep motoring along. Well, we are at 59% state of charge, and we just lost our live stream. But let's make a U-turn here and blast back up the other way. I am noticing maybe slightly a little bit more wind as we go this way, so I think we'll play it safe, turn around here, and we'll burn up the extra closer back to the charging station where we started. But there we go. We'll just flip around right over here. All is good. Very comfortable drive here in the ID.4. Just kicking it off 70 miles an hour and gently regenning us down for a U-turn. We're 77 miles in, 59% state of charge. You join me now for the 50% state of charge update. We've traveled 91 miles. The car's predicting 107 left to go, interestingly, but we will gain back some consumption, or I should say we'll lose some elevation. So our efficiency should increase as we head back into Colorado. Let's see what happens. You join me now, just cruising along here. We are at 25% state of charge. 146 miles driven, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Fairly efficient, but again, this one being a small battery rear wheel drive, not much of a surprise here. More efficient than other cars we've tested in similar category. But all is good. We are heading back through the construction zones on our way close to where we started this test. We'll loop around a little bit, and then of course we'll run it out to 0 on the B roads by the charger. We can't get too crazy on the highway just because there's almost no breakdown lanes here. Just too much construction down on this end. Cannot wait for the Wellington charger to get back online so we can really push it down to 0 on the highway. We are now at 10% state of charge. No warnings yet. Actually, this one just popped up. It says, please charge your vehicle. You can search for a charging station nearby. Cruising along, a little bit of just inching past other cars going roughly the same speed, but 172 miles in so far. I don't think we'll be seeing 200 miles, but how close will it get to 200? That's what we need to find out. We are now at 4% state of charge, just approaching the exit where we first started, and I'm hoping that the ramp is open. I know they have intermittent ramp closures here, but let's see. If we can take the ramp, we'll be good. We'll just run it off on the frontage road that runs, I guess, over to Greeley and then over to Loveland. It's sort of a highway. You can maintain 70 miles an hour, but no risk of running out in a construction zone like here. So we'll let adaptive cruise control just bring us down to speed behind this car. Again, 4% state of charge. And it is looking like, hopefully, the exit is open. Yes. Yes, very good. So now we'll just run it down to 0 out on these roads. Still doing highway speeds. I'll let you know when we count the 70 mile an hour time. We have easily made it off of I-25, and we are now on, again, that little frontage road. We're at 3% state of charge. As soon as we dip closer to 2% state of charge, I'll flip around. But look at how much construction there is going on here. Absolutely an insane amount. Just the world's supply of trucks must be right there. Not sure why, but we're going to keep going. Maybe 1 or 2 more traffic lights. We'll flip around, head back, pull into the charger dead. 2% state of charge now. We're going to be making a U-turn here at this light, heading back. We are about 4 miles away from the charging station. One thing to note about ID.4 is there's not much buffer. When it says 0 miles, that pretty much means 0 miles. Maybe you get a couple little feet past 0, but nothing like the BZ4X. So 0 is a true 0. Again, we will probably not be seeing 200 miles, but very close to it. I think a reasonable score, again, considering the EPA range is 209. Let's just gently get it up to speed and nurse this thing back up to highway speed, 60 miles an hour or so. So we'll consider that our highway speed number right there. And now we'll just limp it along over to the charging station. Cruising around now on some back roads near the charging station, typical where we run cars out of range doing the loops. We are at 1%, like I mentioned, and just gonna run it all the way pretty much out. We're very close. And again, there's no buffer when it hits 0 and very little buffer. So we just kind of need to maintain close proximity to the charging station. That way, if it does just happen to die on us, we don't pull a Michaela. You guys hadn't seen that video. Actually, no, it's to our left. Let's loop around this way and head back. Where she ran her ID.4 completely out right in the middle of an intersection in Fort Collins because she thought, oh, there's got to be a buffer. And nope, there's no buffer. 0 is 0. 1%, 1 mile of range remaining now. We definitely are going to flip around here at this intersection and head back to the charging station. I don't ever trust really the miles to empty in this car. Sometimes it just goes, you know, like 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we were sitting at 3 miles to empty and it just blew past 2. And then it's like, oh, actually, you're kind of at the bottom. And so, yep, let's just kind of maintain pace. There we go. Battery drain, charged vehicle now, 0% state of charge. We are at the bottom. So let's go 0, 0. There we go. You can see how quickly we're losing mileage. Let's keep the speed up in case we need to momentum it into the charger. So time for full racing line through the roundabouts here. No one's coming. So full send nation. Just got to keep the speeds up in case the car shuts off. But we are at the bottom of the battery pack. An ID.4 does have a buffer in the battery, but it doesn't let the user access it. So it'll just like feel like you have power, and then it goes, oh, no, it's off. Sorry, good luck. Try again another day. Let's bring it on over to the charging station. We should be good. And we'll give you the final number here in just one moment. Let's pull up the data. About 3 hours of driving. Let's back it into the charger. Hope it has enough juice to get it in reverse. There we go, we do. And we are in. There we go, 192 miles, 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, 2 hours, 58 minutes. And there we go, vehicle's now dead. Charge vehicle now. That's it. Perfect timing. How about that? Now it's off. So we freaking did it. Another typical out of spec range test. Let's get this thing charging so we don't damage the battery pack. Freaking awesome. Love to see it. Hello from Milan, Italy. If you look out the window here, you'll see we're no longer in Loveland, Colorado. And that's because I forgot to film an ending clip for this. But I'm just sitting here editing the video. And well, there you go. It went 192 miles on a charge, which let's just classify this into a category. The standard battery ID.4 is a reasonable value, under $40,000 starting, built in America, qualifies for the tax credits, and now in Colorado we get an additional $5,000 tax credit. This is a great value vehicle. Certainly cheaper than a Model Y. Model Y gives you all-wheel drive and faster charging and more range as standard, but some people just don't need all that. And to be honest, I love the ID.4 in terms of driving and all that stuff. Ultimately, if you can afford to jump into a Model Y, I think that's the prudent decision. Great charging network, great efficiency, great range. I am going to test a 4680 Model Y here pretty soon. That just seems to be the car. But ID.4 is still relevant, and I think especially next year after they come with some more updates, HK sound system, new infotainment, stuff like that, it could be even better. So there you go. I'm actually impressed with the small battery ID.4, the 62 kilowatt hour. Charges like a monster. 10% challenge was okay. You know, it's just a very great daily driver around the city, commuter car, if you will. No big long trips in this one. Go for the big battery if you're going to do that. Or honestly, go for a Model Y just because you can charge at Tesla superchargers. So there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. See you in another one soon. Bye-bye.